Well, you've likely heard a lot about Title 42, a pandemic-related public health policy that kept more than 1 million migrants out of the U.S. last year. President Biden has said that will end next month. It is frustrating for those who are concerned about a potential mass migration event at the border.
So what is happening right now to prepare for the spike, and why do some believe the country has no choice but to end the policy? Our Washington reporter Joe St. George explains.
The number 42, when you see it, what do you think of? Is it Jackie Robinson's historic number in baseball? Is it the 42nd president? Is it that weird Google trick that when you search what's the answer to life, Google jokingly pulls up the number 42? Well, in Washington this week, the number is again taking center stage. In this case, it's Title 42, the public health policy that has turned away many asylum-seeking migrants since the pandemic began. President Biden's administration announced on May 23rd the policy will end, which means seeking asylum in the U.S. will become easier. Seeking asylum is permitted by U.S. law and is typically understood as escaping persecution from another country.
We're already seeing mayhem down along the border.
The policy shift, though, is frustrating conservatives like House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Democratic senators from Arizona, Montana, and Nevada are upset, too. Their concern is that more than 1.6 million migrants were expelled under Title 42 in the last year or so. And in theory, many will soon be able to try again, possibly overwhelming the border.
So what do we know right now about President Biden's plan for the border after this controversial rule goes away next month?
For one, the Department of Homeland Security is acknowledging an increase in numbers is likely in the coming days. As a result, this week, they are increasing coordination with nonprofits to ensure there is enough shelter and supplies. Creating new border facilities in key areas is another goal. Meanwhile, the department is redirecting employees to the region to help with processing. Not to mention, they're preparing air and ground transportation to send migrants to less crowded facilities should issues arise in one area. If you're wondering why the policy is ending, Physicians for Human Rights recently testified in front of Congress that COVID should have never been an excuse to deny people help.
These exclusionary practices are not now and were not ever based on sound public health.
Still, expect to hear more on this issue in the coming days. COVID funding in Congress remains stalled because some in the Senate want the president to change his mind on Title 42. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.